Hello, everybody. This is Herman Dulce, CEO of Sloan Enterprises. Welcome to the Execute Podcast with Mr. Results. We have a wonderful guest today, Kathy Andre, who's going to talk about her journey to freedom. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Kathy lives super far, so this was a drive.
Yes, an hour.
An hour. Anything farther than 15 minutes, you live far from me.
It's like 30, but I mean.
Yeah, mentally it's 30 because you've done it 100 times.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a solid hour for us people that still live in the city. Again, thank you so much. So I invited you on the show because I wanted to talk to entrepreneurs and people who are free, financially free, mentally free, spiritually free. So you was definitely one of the people that I wanted to speak to, one of our first female speakers. And Kathy, you're a baby as far as I'm concerned, right? I'm not going to put your age out there, but she's way under 30. Right. And Kathy is financially free right now. We want to talk about that you was actually just retired for your birthday from your wonderful husband, Sherby. Right?
Yes.
He retired you. So we're going to talk about that journey. But I want the audience to talk about what it took to get here. Right. And I know that story is 7-8 years old. Instagram makes it look quick.
Yeah.
Right. Because you guys are popping on Instagram right now and everybody think it was just overnight. You're young, rich entrepreneur. It looks good, right?
Right.
But I want to talk about that journey where it started almost a decade ago. I ran into you with my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, Janelle. And I remember when I ran into you and your husband, I was like, where y'all been? Like y'all,
because he wasn't even married at the time.
Right, y'all wasn't even married. Y'all was dating. I was like, where on earth have y'all been? Where y'all been hiding? So talk to everybody what you was doing then, the seeds that were being planted then.
Gotcha. Here, 10 years ago. Yeah. So we were dating. I was just graduated out of high school. I'm in college at this point, and met Sherby. And I'm like, something's different about this guy. He's not like the regular college dudes or whatever. Very ambitious, had a lot of values, a lot of morals. So we started dating, and we actually started building the amway business. So a good friend of ours introduced us to the Amway Corporation and the team that we're working with. Absolutely amazing. But they were teaching us a lot about self-development, about your mindset, about growth, so on and so forth. And that was something that challenged me because growing up, we weren't poor, but we had a very poor mindset where anything out of the norm, you were talked about, you were criticized on, your parents didn't accept it. So it was more so go to school, get a good job, get good grades, and that was it. Anything outside of that, they were like, what are you doing? Like they were disappointed in you. So, in the Amway business, they kind of challenged that mindset. They kind of changed me from like a fixed mindset to more of a growth mindset, to kind of think outside the box. They taught us how financial literacy. They taught us entrepreneurship, how to manage your money. They taught me how to dream. I didn't know how to dream. And that was huge. Like Sherby literally put me around people that knew how to dream. And when I say that, like they saw where they would be 10 years from now, outside of just the money, just traveling, being with your family, being able to accomplish different goals and dreams that probably, I didn't think about it in the beginning. So he brought me around those people, and then we were able to create an income through the Amway business, and we absolutely love it. The products were amazing. All of that is great, but we were able to create a secondary income where we were able to get debt free. In 2017, I want to say, 2017, we paid off all of our loans. I went to Penn State Abington, Sherby went to Lock Haven, and then we paid off like $40,000, $50,000 in 1 year. And we were able to literally be debt free. And in my brain, when that happened, I was like, "Oh crap!" Like,
so that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So you are in your late 20s.
I'm 27. It's fine. I'm 27.
You're 27.
Yeah.
Retired at 27. All right. That journey started when you were 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So number one, it can be done. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Number two, let's talk about the Amway business. What is that? What's that? What was that? What is that business for people who are not familiar?
Yeah, it's a multi-level marketing business, and literally it's a products and service business. You literally exchange, you purchase products, and then you get paid on the back end for it, and you're able to build a team, so on and so forth, and teach them how to do the same thing. So that's what the Amway business is, and what they do is that they attach you, or you get attached with the team. And the team that I was associated with, we had mentors, we had access to audios, to books, to really self-development. And for me, that was the true product. Like if you take away all of the bars and snacks and detergent and all of that, the most that I've got from the Amway business was my mindset. Because if that didn't change, it didn't make sense of how much money I made, I would have lost it just as fast. Because if we think about all the different millionaires and everything, the reason they're able to make that money and sustain it is because of the way that they think. And you see stars all the time, NBA players, whatever, they make a lot of money. 2 seconds later, they're broke. It's a mindset thing. So, yeah, the products and stuff was great. But for me, it was more so the mindset and the dreaming that I was able to do that they taught me how to do.
So let's get a little personal. So clearly your husband is part of this journey, right? And paying off $50,000 in a year, the first thing that comes to my mind is that's a whole lot of sacrifice. What did you have to give up for a year to pay off $50,000 in student loan debt?
When you say MIA, we went MIA.
You guys were ghosts.
We were ghosts. Like, we didn't go to no parties. We're young. We're in our 19, 20, 21 years old. That's just like party time.
Right.
We didn't go to no parties. We didn't spend money on no alcohol. We weren't vacationing Cancun. Like, we weren't doing any of that. We weren't buying fancy clothes. We didn't have kids at the time. Our rent, we stayed like right in Philly, like near Stanton, around that area. We delayed. Talk to them. It was hard. It was challenging, but we knew what the end goal was. We wanted to be debt free. So it was literally whatever it takes, whatever sacrifices. And it wasn't really a sacrifice. It's just, I'm not going to settle for the good when I can have the great. And that was huge for us.
You need to get a t-shirt.
I'm
not going to settle for the good if I can get the great. That's awesome.
I'm not going to settle. Like, I know that we can accomplish this. We believed in our goals. We prayed on them, and we just weren't going to settle. So whatever we had to do, I sacrificed, Cancun, so we can go to Bora Bora this year. And I'm glad that I did that because I'd rather Bora Bora. I mean,
Cancun. Everybody in Cancun.
Everybody can go to Cancun.
Yeah.
And we wanted to travel the way that we wanted to travel. We didn't want to have to keep checking our bank account every 2 seconds. And that's not the life I live anymore. And I'm so thankful looking back that we did delay. But yeah, we went MIA. And then I remember when I put the post about being debt free and where me and Sherby's been the past couple of years, everyone was blown away. What the heck did y'all do? And we grind. Like, it's hard, but it's so worth it. A lot of people, like you said, they think it's just overnight. It's not overnight. It takes work. It takes a long time, work ethic, all of that.
It took a really long time.
Yeah.
Now, I was telling this Bible story because I love telling Bible stories, right? So Joseph, when Mary was pregnant, right? For my Christians, you will understand what this means, right? But for my non-believers, Mary was pregnant with Jesus, and an angel came to Joseph, was like, yeah, we gotta go. You gotta leave tonight, right? You gotta move. And then he went and told his wife, and they left and they moved, right? Went to Bethlehem or whatever, right? In 2021, Sherby calls you, was like, yeah, angel came to me, you pregnant now, like, yeah, we gotta move to Florida, right? I bring all that to say, when Sherby was telling you about Amway and he was telling you what his dreams were, what made you believe him to follow his dreams?
That's a really good question. Sherby is very consistent. For anyone who knows Sherby, one thing that attracted me to him is his consistency and his ambition level. A lot of men, maybe that's
we're keeping it real on this show. We're keeping it real. Go ahead, speak your mind.
They're not consistent. They're not consistent. One day you want to do this, you want to do that, and with Sherby, he's very consistent. He knew what he wanted, and that's what attracted me to him, and that's why I believed in him so much. The thing is that regardless if Sherby, and this is going to sound crazy, regardless if Sherby married me or not, whoever his wife was going to be was going to benefit because Sherby's goals wasn't based off of me. It was based off of what he wanted to do, what he wanted to accomplish. So regardless if I was in the picture or not, whoever he would have married would have retired, would have benefited off of him because his goals wasn't tied to me specifically. It was what he wanted to do for his future family.
That's crazy.
Which I think is huge. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So at your retirement dinner, this was a retirement surprise dinner. She even know
I had no idea.
This was going to happen. Check out previous YouTube videos. It was a wonderful video. I asked you a question, right? I asked you, did you see this happening? Did you believe this was going to happen? She answered crazy. Other people would be like, I'm so surprised I didn't see it. She said, yes, I knew this was going to happen. So let's talk about that answer because people reach their dreams and they're like, I can't believe this happened. Like NBA players, when they win the championship, they're crying. They're saying like, I can't believe this happened. Anything is possible. But you didn't have that feeling. You was like, no, I expected this to happen. Talk about that mindset where this is my success is expected.
Because literally we've talked about this for years. When I mean years, like it's plastered from we moved 2 times before we bought the house. It was posted all over our dream boards. We prayed on it every single night. We talked about it every day. I mean, and I'm trying not to get emotional when I'm talking because like just this, you interviewing, like I saw this. I saw this happening. So when you asked if I was surprised, I was like, no, I'm not surprised that it's happening because I spoke it into existence. Sherby and I, we prayed on it. We talked about it. We talked about where we wanted our kids to be and so on and so forth. So I wasn't surprised when it happened. Yes, I was emotional because I'm like, it's happening, but I had faith. We prayed on it every single night, and we knew that God was going to see us through. And God's word doesn't return void. He put a gift and a talent into Sherby and I, and we knew that as long as we put the work behind it, as long as we were going to believe in God and we were going to stay consistent, it was going to happen. Maybe not on our timing, but when God said, okay, this is a time for you to retire, and it happened. And the thing is that even if it didn't happen this year, I still would have worked my tail off until it happened. I still would have done it. So
you was gonna make it happen regardless.
I was gonna make it happen regardless.
So you don't ever wake up and be like, because I've seen their master bedroom. You ever wake up and be like, this is crazy?
I'm like, yo, this is my life.
This is
like,
your life.
This is my I remember when we lived on Stanton, we had a one bedroom, 1.5 bathroom, but it was really, really small. But I saw myself in that master bedroom. And because pictures are plastered everywhere, our dream board followed us wherever we moved. And even this morning, like I'm waking up, we have like these little fancy chairs, this huge TV that Sherby bought, curtains, and just this huge California King. I didn't even know California King was back then.
What was a thing, right?
And now, like,
you just thought it was king size.
Right, the bed goes up and down on your feet, and it's like, I saw this, but it's still kind of surreal because it's like, wow, like this is my life now. Like I don't have to wake up to a job. I can literally spend time with my husband and with my son and build our empire together as a family. And that's all we wanted to do. And we literally worked our tails off until it happened.
So my version of that story is sometimes I am surprised, right? Because it was a very scary journey for me when I decided to quit my job. But I was on FaceTime with a friend of mine, and I was sitting in Bella's room, right? And then my friend was like, where are you? I was like, oh, I'm in my daughter's room. And they're like, you're in your daughter's bedroom? And this person has known me for 30 years, right? And Bella's name is from here to here. It's across the whole room. And they was like, yo, bro, your daughter's bedroom is bigger than your parents' master bedroom. Because they remember my house my parents had. And sometimes your head is down so much that you don't realize certain things. And I was like, wow, you are right. This bedroom, is bigger than my parents' master bedroom. So sometimes I have to, stop and smell the roses sometimes. So people that are looking at your lives right now, right? It looks amazing. It looks great. But you're clearly not done yet, right? There's more to do. Yeah. So you guys are building a new business right now because he retired you to put you to work.
Basically.
That's what he did. That's exactly what he did. So tell everybody about the new business that you're doing right now.
Okay, so we're really excited because we have a new business called a trucking management business under Andre Family Enterprise. And our whole goal is to help 1,000 families become wealthy and create generational wealth through the trucking industry, which is a $1 trillion industry. And we started about 3 to 4 years ago. And Sherby is kind of like the mastermind behind everything. I'm kind of like the paperwork, financial, because my background's in accounting. So numbers, that's my thing. I'll do that. But Sherby is more so the mastermind behind it. But that's our goal, is to really help a lot of families become financially independent through trucking and trucking management and so on and so forth. But yeah, he basically did retire me to just work full-time in the business.
To work for the business.
Yeah.
So Amway, you started a business already. You built a team, many customers, many partners. You did really well. What are you taking from that first business and that mindset? How are you going to scale and use that information? What are you taking from that to make this successful?
The mindset, the self-development, growing other leaders, knowing how to speak into people, believe in people when they don't believe in themselves, and just having more free mom and dads. And the thing, when I say retiring, that might not be your dream. You may really, I know a lot of people in the medical field, they love what they do, and that's great. I never want people to feel forced I'm pushing retirement. No, if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. But at the end of the day, those are some of the things that I want to pass on as an option to other families. And some people probably never even thought that big, because I didn't. But that's some things that we want to pass on into the trucking industry, is just a lot of free moms and dads able to build an empire in a business and pass it on to their kids. Because I can't pass my accounting job to Bryce. Like, he has to go to school and everything just like I did. And the thing is that in the corporate world, they don't care about you. They do not care about you. You're a number.
You're a number.
You're expendable. I can't pass that to my son, and they're not going to take care of Bryce. They're not going to take care of Sherry if something happens to me. So we had to really sit down and think about, okay, what it is that we need for our family. And we learned so much in the Amway Corporation when it comes to business, financial literacy, speaking into people, different books and audios to read, and we want to move that into our trucking management business so we can grow people as well, because it was such a blessing for us, and we just want to transfer that over.
Excellent. I love it. Are you afraid of the next chapter of your life? Just keep it real. Because you've never done this before.
I've never done this before.
Right.
I don't want to say I'm afraid. I don't even know what the feeling is called, because, and it's funny, Herman, I feel like you're in my brain.
I'm telling you, man, I do this.
Because literally, yesterday, a lot of our friends came over and we were like talking about 2021 goals, so on and so forth. And I was saying that with the money that we made this year, it kind of was overwhelming, because it's like, yes, you see it coming, but then it starts hitting the account and it's like, dang.
It's different taxes at that place.
It's different. And then it became overwhelming, and it's like, okay, Kathy, you need to kind of get this out. And I'm kind of forgetting your question as I'm talking. So repeat your This is live.
This is live. This is live. Are you afraid of this next chapter?
I don't think I'm afraid. It's just a lot to learn. And we have different mentors, people that we're talking to in the trucking industry. But at the same time, no, I wouldn't say I'm afraid. It's just making sure that I do my research and not being a know-it-all. A lot of people think they need to have all the answers. I do not have all the answers. I'll tell you that me and Sherry do not have all the answers. And we know somebody who does, we will redirect you to that person. I never try to talk about credit. I have no idea. I refer them right to Herman.
Right.
So I'm not afraid. It's more so just making sure that I get the right information to the right people. And if I don't know, I'm more than welcome to refer them to somebody else.
Let me ask you this. So I do credit repair, business credit, all that stuff, right? Those are the most challenging customers in the world, because they've had 560 credit score for 7 years, and they want it taken care of in 7 weeks. So there's some education that I got to give them on what credit repair looks like. When you send out those letters, it takes 30 to 45 days for them to respond. So it'll be 2-3 months. They'll be like, what happened? Nothing's been done. I'm like, yeah, but I only talked to them 3 times. 3 times is not enough time. But that's part of me to educate. Now we're talking about you being retired and you being financially free. And it's important that I'm stressing that this took almost 10 years, right? I don't care that she's 27. Her head was down since she was 19, 20, right? Years old. So it takes time to happen to that. So the people that you're about to help, your goal is 100 or 1,000 families?
1,000.
1,000 families to become financially independent, right? Financially independent does not mean millionaires. I was just saying this on my last episode. It's about replacing your salary now. Then you're financially independent. How are you going to, because remember, it's a mindset play. Everyone has the 9-to-5 mindset play. How are you depositing what you learned at Amway, what you learned in the past 10 years? How are you depositing into the people that you're about to tell them they're about to be financially free? One or two things that you tell them when you're doing consultation calls.
So more so, it's a piece at a time, because it could be very overwhelming. If anyone told me to read 15 books or listen to all these audios at one time, I would have been out. Like, okay, it's like constipation of information. So we give it to them a little bit at a time, and we speak into them words of affirmation. I think that is so huge. It's a book I read, Hung by the Tongue. Absolutely amazing. Just that alone is so important, because if you think of someone who has a dream and they go tell their mom or they go tell a family member and the person shoots it down, you alone saying to them, I believe in you. You could do it. That's nothing. Of course you can. That goes so far for that person. So just little things like that we do with a lot of people that we work with, a lot of the different families, keeping them positive and not talking about the negative. A lot of people, all they do is pour negative into you. Like this one guy that we know from the Amway business, he said, I'm not a trash can with a hairy lid that you just dump all your trash negativity into. And I think that's so huge. We already have people in our families and our lives that all they want to do is complain. All they want to do is just, come to you and dump all this stuff on you. I want to be that positive light. I want to be that person that you could come to and you tell me what's going on, but I'm giving you actual things that you can go and what's what I'm looking for? Apply in a positive way. I'm not just here to just hear your crap. Like,
Right.
You're not about to pour all this negative stuff into me.
Positive vibes only.
Exactly. So those are little things that we do. And as we get to know the families more, then we start recommending different books and stuff like that. But like I said, it's a different mindset shift. And it takes time because it was 17, 18 years of poor mindset that I had to transition into wealth mindset. And that takes time.
Right.
It's not overnight. And I thought it was. It is not overnight. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. And you start to see a switch in things. Like a lot of times, when I was younger, I'll be in college and somebody would tell me something or something would happen, and now I look at it differently. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they went through something before I would just prejudge them.
Okay.
So it takes time. It takes time.
I have a tough question. All right, this is a hard question. This is a little personal. So, because this happened to me, and I know it happened to you and Sherby. You can't save everybody.
You cannot save everybody.
People that you love, your day ones, they're not going to go on the journey with you.
Correct.
You've changed. You're bougie now. Before the camera started rolling, you said you wanted a glam squad, right?
Yes.
And it sounds crazy, but no, you need it because you don't have what time?
I don't have the time.
I don't have the time. So somebody got to come in and do this when I got to do interviews, right? Right. So how have you dealt with? You don't have to say no names. How have you dealt with the people who the relationship has shifted because your life has shifted? And I'll give you an example. I'll break the ice.
Okay.
So I remember when me and my brother, we quit our jobs around the same time, right? Probably like 6 months apart. And then a friend of mine had a business deal in Florida, right? And she literally called me the night before. She's like, hey, Herm, I got to go do this deal. Come with me. This was like a Wednesday. And I was like, tomorrow? She's like, yeah. Mind you, I just quit my job, so I still had that mindset. I was like, I can't just get up and leave.
Right.
Yeah, you can get up and leave.
Right.
You can buy the plane ticket and you can leave tomorrow and I can be back in my bed the next day. I mean, that same day, because literally 3 a.m. we was at the airport. I was back in my bed at midnight. We literally spent the day in Florida. So everyone can't do that. And there's a little resentment to that sometimes. How has that adjustment happened to you, or has that happened to you?
Not yet. At least I haven't seen it yet. But with anyone where I see there's a distance with someone that I've been really friends with, I love on them. I pray for them, but that's on you. It's nothing I did.
Right.
I'm deciding to chase my dreams. If you want to be complacent, if you're content with how your life is, that's good for you, but that's not good for me. So I'm not about to stop what I'm doing just so we can still be like, no. And my thing too is that if they're truly your friend, they're going to be happy for you.
Right.
Regardless. So, but if I do feel that disconnect where the person's, I don't like hating or, they're like, oh, well, she's bragging about this and bragging about that. I'll love on you, but we're not in the same place, and that's okay. There's levels of friendship, and I had to learn that really, really fast. And not everybody is on your first level of friendship. You love everybody, but not everyone is in my tight circle, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I know of all people, you preach that. Like, not everyone is in your tight circle, but anyone I feel a distance with, it's okay. I love on you. There's no animosity. There's no bad blood or anything. But we're just in different places in life, and that's okay.
I tell people all the time, my time is my most valuable asset, right? So I'm very careful with it and how I spend it. So before, when I first started the business, hey, Herman, can we sit down for a cup of coffee? Absolutely. Now, I almost get offended when people ask me that. Sit down for a cup of. No, I don't have that time. So that's why you coming here is a big deal to me because I know what your time is worth. How do you value your time nowadays, especially now? Like it's been your first full week of being retired. How do you value your time now?
Oh my gosh, like that's so important. And I preach that to Sherby because sometimes, and not that he doesn't know his value because he does, but we have kids. You have kids, so it's like. That time with them, with your wife, with your husband is so important. I never wanted him to feel like he wasn't giving us the time that we needed. So when it comes to a time aspect, you have to be very organized and know exactly, okay, I have a team dealing with this, so my time is only going to be spent with the people that are serious. a 2 hours here, an hour there, so on and so forth. So that's something that we're learning. But yeah, the time, it's so valuable.
Right.
It's so valuable. So right now it's mostly focusing on our kids and me and Sherby as a family, but that's why we build it as a family business. We take our son everywhere. We take him everywhere. He's 1.5. He cries here and there, but we build it as a family. So when there's conversation that needs to be had, we're in the car, we're having fun, we're getting food and stuff, we're doing meetings and stuff like that with each other in the car. So we build it as a family. And then when it's time for family time, it's family time.
It's family time.
I don't want you on the phone.
Right.
It's date night. It's date night. Put the phone down. And I don't play that. Like when it comes to time, a lot of times we take advantage of it and we think that we have forever. We do not have forever. If anything, you saw that in 2020. You do not have forever. So we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of the time that we do have, and we make sure that we're allocating it properly.
Excellent. So this is how I close my podcast / #1 TV show on YouTube. I asked this question. So you're a baby. You're 27. So we're talking to the 61-year-old Kathy Andre, right? You've been married 45 years at this point. You probably have grandkids at this point, right? Because you started so young. What advice would the 61-year-old Kathy say to the 27-year-old Kathy? What would she be saying to you right now?
That's a good question. I've never thought of that.
Because you're going to meet her one day.
I'm going to meet her. What's the 61-year-old Kathy
saying to the 27-year-old Kathy? Yeah.
I want her to say that I'm proud of you. You didn't quit. You stayed steady. All the positive things, that I'm proud of you, because I feel like sometimes it happens the opposite. Like, why did you quit? Why did you stop excelling in what you were doing? Because this is the life that you could have had. This is where you were supposed to be, and you let somebody steal your dream. But this is where we, like, I forgot how the quote goes, but it's something like, is the, let's say, 50-year-old Kathy going to be thankful for what the 27-year-old Kathy's doing right now, or is she going to be disappointed? So that's how I'm kind of thinking about your question. I want 61-year-old Kathy, like, Kathy, you did a great job. I'm so proud of you. You've reached your goals. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. That's what I want to hear, because if I don't hear that, then I missed something. I didn't accomplish something. And in my brain, that's me settling. And I can't have that.
Can't have that.
I can't have that.
Kathy Andre. This was a great interview. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming to the Execute podcast. You're amazing.
You are
to the next $1 million.
Amen.
All right, man. So listen, give us your contact information. Everybody who's interested in trucking, their phone number, your Instagram. This is your time.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the trucking management, our Instagram is at Andre Family Enterprise. So if you add that in your search Instagram, you'll find it. For me, is at Mrs.K_Andre. And for some reason, I can't think of Sherby's off the top of my head. Is Mr. AF Legacy?
That's it. AF Legacy, yeah.
Okay, because we literally just changed it.
He just changed it, yeah. On Instagram, yeah.
So all of that is on our Instagram. And then on our Instagram bio, you will see all the links to, we have a lot of different things coming out. Our trucking management course. We have a lot of different connections that you guys can get into, but it's all about passive income. It's all about creating generational wealth for you and your family, because no one is going to invest into your family, into you, like you are. So take the time, go through our page, go through our websites. You'll see everything there where you can reach out to us. We're very one-on-one type people, text message, phone calls, so on and so forth. But once you go to the Instagram page and you go to our actual website, you'll see everything. So
you're a natural at this. You quit a week ago? This is crazy. You're amazing. Thank you for executing, Kathy.
Thank you for having
Happy
me.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll talk to you guys soon.